Laia, the first question. How do you feel in the role of Nick?
Nick,
Sorry.
how did I feel?
Yeah.
Felt pretty good. No. It was complicated. Yeah, it was really complicated. I mean, the basis of the role is a character who finds himself in a very complicated situation through a series of seemingly innocuous, semi-innocent actions, questionably. And as a result of those actions, it sort of sets forth the bulk of the story, which is that Sasha's character Jill is kidnapped, sort of because of some of the things that my character has done, and therefore he has to try and save her. But as an actor, it was complicated. Easily the most technical thing I've ever done. You know, on the surface it was simple in the sense that a lot of it was sitting at a table in front of a camera, you know, as if I'm on a computer. But so much is happening in any given moment on that computer screen that I have to be paying attention to. And I'm most of the time not even interacting with an actor, I'm looking at a camera. So it was complicated and fun and fucking crazy.
Okay. What do you think to embark in this film with?
What's that?
Why do you decide to with Vigalondo?
Well, Nacho had a lot to do with it. I mean, I'd wanted to work with Nacho since I'd seen Time Crimes, and I loved Time Crimes and his short films and Extraterrestrial. And I'd come to know Nacho personally from meeting him at Fantastic Fest in Austin in 2010. So, you know, the opportunity came up to work on this film, and I read the script, and I knew about the idea, and the idea is incredibly ambitious and, you know, frightening for any director to try and embark on something as complicated as this. And I wanted to be a part of that, you know. It's ambition matched with getting a chance to work with Nacho, who I think is a visionary, was just an exciting opportunity.
Why do you think that the public cannot miss the movie?
Well, I certainly haven't seen anything quite like it. I mean, I think, you know, at its core, it's a kind of Brian De Palma-esque thriller. But it's told in a manner that we've never really experienced in a film before. And it works. That's the good news. It works. It's like trying to construct this in such a way when you've got single cameras focused on each of the actors as opposed to traditional coverage that one can normally rely on, and creating a process for the viewer that you get used to in order to be able to move you through the narrative was a really hard task, and it works, and it's exciting. And you kind of forget after a while that you're watching it on a computer screen. The movie takes over, the story takes over. And that's the triumph, I think, of Nacho and the triumph of the film.
And the last, what about your future projects?
Well, I have a production company called Spectrovision. So we've been producing genre and horror films. We did a movie last year called Cooties that we're just finishing post-production on now. It played at Sundance. We're sort of retooling it, and we just shot a new ending. So that'll come out probably towards the end of the year. And we're working on other things that we're producing. There's another movie called A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night, which is an Iranian vampire film. That'll come out at the end of the year as well.
Yes, I played Jill Goddard, a young actress who's sort of this cliched Hollywood bad girl who's always at the center of tabloids. But when we meet her at the start of the film, she's going through an internal change, and she wants to be respected, essentially. And everybody around her wants her to essentially stay the same because she's been controlled and sort of manipulated and molded into this actress and personality that she is with no control over it. So at this point in her life, she wants to change and take control of who she is. And it isn't until she meets Nick, who ultimately saves her, that she gets that opportunity for the first time to really disappear once and for all and get that change she sought.
Bueno, voy a preguntar si me puedes traducir. ¿Cómo es trabajar con Laia?
It is about how is working with Elijah. experience?
Pretend like I'm not here.
No, it was great. Unfortunately, we didn't get to be on set together that often. And even when we were in the same scene, he was off camera or vice versa. And so we would be feeding each other lines. And it's like it was so strange. It was so alien because you usually only do that, a few times in a film, whereas it was really the only interaction we got aside from the big explosion scene. So it was cool. But yeah, it was like he said, it was very technical, and we were always working in front of a camera or pretending that a camera isn't there, in my case.
Soderbergh, Rob Lowe, Wood with Vigalondo, and you have given a twist, has hecho un cambio en tu carrera. ¿Cuál ha sido la razón o cómo estás llevando este cambio, ¿no?
There's been a huge change in your career as an actor. What are the reasons for having a new approach?
Y como...
You've worked with Soderbergh, pero ¿a qué te refieres? ¿A su etapa anterior?
Sí, digamos el cambio que ha tenido de la etapa anterior a la actual. Cuando era actriz.
From an adult film actress to conventional cinema. What are the reasons for the shift? What are you looking for?
Well, at the time of the girlfriend experience, I was still working in the adult industry, and I wanted to have this simultaneous career where I could do everything, and I was really adamant about not being limited. And I really didn't want to pick sides, and I felt like people were sort of expecting me to pick a side, and I was totally against that idea. I didn't want to conform to anything. And what ultimately ended up happening is I started my own company in adult films, and in 3 months it kind of went downhill, and I didn't want to keep working for other people. I wanted to work for myself. And the industry was going through a strange time and change, and I felt like if I were to quit, now would probably be the time where I'm on top of my game and I still enjoy what I do, but move on and attempt to continue acting and making music and doing a little bit of everything. And The Girlfriend Experience was that film that helped me do that, and at the time I really didn't think that's the direction I was going to take, but it's where I am now.
Sí, creo que la última. Okay. Nuevos proyectos, futuros proyectos.
New projects, future projects. What are you?
Well, last year I was working on the Juliet Society, my first novel, and I finished writing that and went straight into a tour, half DJing, half book tour, and this year I've sort of picked up where I left off, and I'm writing the sequel to that, and making music and DJing a bit. And as far as acting goes, I'm taking it slow because I don't want to be forced to be put in a box, because otherwise I could just go do reality TV and never have to think about anything ever again. So I'm sort of fortunate in that way, where I have the ability to do a little bit of everything and be careful about the projects that I pick, which is so nice about working with Nacho. Is he's very unique and one of a kind.